Ndinoloyiko kuba sikwelile magada ahlabayo. Ndinoloyiko ukwenza kwam kube lilize.
Their fear. Okay, so the title comes actually directly from what the play is about. That's where it comes from, because the play is about the fear that parents have for their kids. I know this sounds weird, I've said it so many times, but whenever I say the fear that parents have for their kids, I always feel like I'm saying something wrong, English. But yeah, it's the fear that the parents have, because I believe that every parent is always worried about their kids. You know, they always worry about where they will end up. Will they be able to navigate through the difficulties of life? Will they avoid places that could endanger them? You know, how will they do? Sometimes for parents it might be hard to draw that line, but do they know this lesson now? Should I stop? Or have I not gone through them enough? Should I keep on, you know, the enforce of this thing? Because I think some would rather say, okay, ndimoppressile by teaching them what was right, than say I did not teach them enough. So yeah, that's what the title's about. Okay, I think I started falling in love with theater when I studied at the Market Lab. You know, I think the Market Laboratory was that eye-opener for me. It was that light bulb that just went on, because I had so many ideas. I went there as an actor. I had so many ideas, and when I presented my ideas, you know, people were like, this is good. So I think that's where I got the confidence to continue, because sometimes you have so many ideas, but you don't know if what you have is actually what the industry needs. So it started there, and then after Market Lab, I was only an actor. So I took a short writing course with the Writers Guild. So I learned how to write. Again, I got more confident as a filmmaker, as a theater maker, as a writer, actor. But then I realized that with acting, it seems like it's up to other people. You know, you are dependent on someone saying yes to you. And with writing, you literally take whatever you have inside of you, and then you just put it down and you create something out of that. So I became a creator.
Umama weXhoba nosheke yedwa uthi unoti babalo bingumntana wakhe wokuqala wokugqibela.
Their fear started as a single idea, like most of my things. Started as a single idea. I had this one parent who's a single father who is worried that their queer daughter is going to experience hate crimes. And I developed that side, I think, in December. I then started writing about the different family that has a single mother who also worries that they can't raise a son, and they also worry about where will their daughter end up because they haven't succeeded. So they believe that I'm not strong enough, I don't have all it takes to raise a successful daughter. And I think life is many things at once, you know, so I think a play should be allowed to be that. It can't really just be that one single story, because there's so many elements that you can explore, so many themes that can happen in that one single story. So I matched them together and they formed Their Fear, which explores a lot of things.
Okay, Lusapho, while watching the play,
yeah,
there was like two characters, the funny ones, like that make us like laugh even the way they were walking.
These two.
Yes. Like, what was happening? What motivated you to include that comic in your play?
Okay, so when I was at the market lab, we did on my third level, we did a play that was sort of inspired by commedia dell'arte, you know, funny walking figures. So that was my take in that. I was like, okay, because the play is quite heavy, you know. I didn't want people to cry throughout, but at the same time, I wanted to deliver. There's hard hitting facts, you know, there's hard things, there's difficult things that are happening. So I got Siphesihle and Dumisa to do the honors, you know, to be like, hey. So they change their voice, they change their walk, but if you listen to them, they still deliver really hard-hitting things. But then because it's funny, it's taken lightly. Because I remember in another scene, they are playing a game, you know, magic, and then they're like, am I left or am I right? You know, and then the other one guesses but doesn't get it right, and then he gets annoyed. But okay, no, if I get it, what will I gain? And then the other one says, you won't gain anything. And then he was like, really? So if you are left or you are right, I don't gain anything? That is a very, you know, it's literally delivering the live and let live message. But because it's so funny, you'll think that it's just a joke. So nothing is just a joke in the play, but everything is delivered. Most things are delivered jokingly, just to ease the play so that it doesn't become that heavy. Because I personally don't like heavy stuff as well. I like having fun and then reflecting and be like, wow, okay, wow, so that's what this was about. So they were really practicing something else. So yeah.
Also speaking about emotional moments, there was a father, Tata, the baby guy who was playing with Tata. He kept on saying, like sort of very, very strong words, like pairs amningi.
Yeah.
Like keep on repeating, like he repeated so many times. Also watching him, like listening to him saying that, on the other side there were like people like singing in the background covered with a cloth, of which also makes the audience to become sort of like emotional, like actually like what was happening there actually.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's a very important part of the play. You know, so I needed people to listen. I needed to pull all the stops so that people pay attention and listen and feel whatever was happening. I mean, I obviously didn't realize how deep it was gonna be, because when I looked at the audience as that scene was going on, people were crying and they were in it, and they were people were not coughing, they were not doing anything, you know. So I like attention to be brought to things that need attention, because what he's talking about there is the killings and the rapings and the rapists, which may or may not be in the audience, because that's what he says. He's like, sihamba nabo, sifunda nabo, sihlala nabo. You'll never know, you know, the people that might do harm to you. are literally
Yes,
around
yeah.
here. Yeah. So I needed to bring everyone who was around there to know that they are part of this thing, and if they could potentially become harmful to someone else, they should think twice. So I had to take it there, even though I didn't want to harm or hurt people. But then I guess writing is dangerous, but we need to go there for society, for social change or whatever, justice don't to happen. We need to take it there. So that's why I went there.
What a powerful message. It's very powerful.
Thank you.
Hey Lusapho, like it was clear to me that the daughter who was a lesbian imagined herself as Makoti. Like in most cases, like we see that those things happening when you go like home in the rural areas, people like completely like change, trying to sort of like feed into the into the community.
Because for an ordinary girl, I think that's one of their biggest dreams, to see themselves validated in the community. So we were trying to highlight that even that thing, big as it is, it's not for me. That's what the daughter was saying. So that's what we were trying to play with. But I think a lot of people really enjoyed seeing a rich Makoti. There's something I think it maybe it's because we relate or we've seen one before, but there's something about that rich Makoti that just drove people into a frenzy. They immediately understood her when she came in. And I also like playing with those things that people know, so that they know instantly.
The cars, like they delivered their work, like they went beyond, beyond the assignment. They understood the assignment.
Yes.
So can you please take us through the casting process?
Yeah, okay. So in my previous work, casting friends and people that I have studied with, people that I have maybe met at auditions and stuff, seemed like the easiest way to do this thing. It was one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do, but we learn a lot, I think, from the ones that are most challenging. But here I was like, okay, I think it's important to find the right person, the perfect person for this, so that no one spends time thinking, okay, actor, they just get immersed in the story because that person that person So I selected them from self-tapes, and when I met them, we just gelled. We worked so well together. There was zero drama, and there was just mutual respect, and they are just a bunch of happy winners.
Wow, they are very talented. I can attest to that. We watched the play, like we laughed. At some point we cried. We were very emotional. Like you took us through things that we experienced in our childhood, and even now we still experience some of the things that happened on the theater. So, like, tell me, in terms of like staging ovation and people crying, how did that make you feel as a writer and a producer?
Yeah, that moment was an uppercut to myself. It was amazing, and in the midst of all that joy, I felt so ashamed because I couldn't see it happening. I was so ashamed of myself, of the realization that wow, I didn't even see this happening. I didn't imagine it. I mean, of course, I wanted the play to be successful because I knew that it's a small little thing. Only a few people are going to know about it. So to just have a full audience, and then people screaming, going crazy after the show, standing ovations and just screaming, and others are crying, you know, by hey, I'm done, I'm so nakele. I remember when your mama they watch by you, I saw so nakele, mtana abantwana bethu bacimba famba singa abantu bazi dragons or whatever, kanti sifuna baphumelele. And sometimes you feel like you have to force someone, and others laughed at the jokes that I wrote. It was amazing. There's no way to describe that other than I felt slightly ashamed that I couldn't see it happening for myself. It still gives me chills even now, remembering how I didn't even know how to act. I was just standing there like I don't know. There's even a video of me during when I stood up, and then everyone went crazy, and then they were like, I passed people. I wanted to go to the backstage, but then part of me says, no, this is for you. You need to talk to your people. And I was just like, yeah, and yes. And then Vuyani comes from backstage, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he can Vuyani Gqobo, but he's not gonna save me. I have to talk to the people. I'm not a naturally secure person, so when things like that happen, I don't know. I never know what to do. I never know what to do. But it was an amazing experience. I wish that we can have more platforms to show people their fear, because everyone agrees that it needs to be seen. You know, people need to see it. So I can't wait for that. I'm still en route, you know, I'm still in my journey. It's still, I'm still learning, I'm still exploring, because I feel like that's what this is about, you know. It's about learning and exploring, and exploring all these difficult and dangerous things, and all these feelings and emotions, and how we connect as people. So